Hi and welcome to Santosha Rose. My name's Sam and today we're going to be doing a sequence for curiosity. I'm excited to share it with you. See you on the mat. We're going to start the class today in a wide leg extended child's pose. So bringing the knees to the outer edges of the mat, feet together at the back. We're going to reach forward, stretching out through the spine, feeling that sense of reach in the arms, and just bringing your head down if it reaches to touch the floor. If your head doesn't reach, you can use your hands. You could use a block or a pillow or something. You can also take a pillow underneath your legs here, just to make this nice and comfortable as a starting posture. And we're just going to take a couple of breaths here to relax, release, to ground down into our practice today, into our bodies. And our theme for today is curiosity. So I invite you to start straight away with that sense of curiosity. How is your body feeling today? What are the sensations in your body? Are there any areas of tightness? And can you just have an open, curious, intrigued attitude towards what you find? No judgment necessary. And taking one more cycle of breath here. And allowing yourself to really sink down and release on that exhale. And then we're going to very slowly start walking the hands back in, coming into our thunderbolt position. So bring the knees closer together so that the legs are parallel. Interesting fact, this is the only yoga posture that is recommended immediately after eating. So this is a posture that actually helps with digestion. Most other yoga postures, you should have a little bit of time between eating and doing the posture. Okay, bringing the hands together, clasping. I'm going to push the hands away. So fingers, top of the hands facing towards you, and then slowly lifting the arms up. Feeling that sense of reach up through the side body, through the arms. You can keep the head neutral, or you can take the gaze up towards the fingers. And try and keep some integrity in the spine here. So we're not doing a massive back bend. The spine is staying straight, just reaching up and backwards with the shoulders. And then releasing with the hands, bringing the hands down the sides, coming down to touch the mat, and then taking a clasp behind with the other thumb on top. So it'll feel a bit funny. We tend to do things just one way most of the time. Okay, so we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, lifting the hands up. So we're moving the hands away from the tailbone. And just taking a cycle of breath here. Feeling that sense of squeeze in the shoulder blades, having that sense of curiosity. How is this feeling for your body today? And then releasing in the hands, I'm going to come forward into a tabletop position. So taking that moment just to check your alignment, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, nice wide fingers. Going to have a real sense of engagement through the core here. So making sure we're not dumping weight down into our hands, having that sense of lift. Bringing the navel in towards the spine. Pressing the tops of the feet onto the floor. So weight is in the legs as well. I'm just going to do some wrist stretches here. So keeping the right hand planted on the floor. I'm going to take the left fingers in towards the center, and this is why it's really important that we're not dumping the weight down forward. So there's a little bit of weight going into that hand, but not too much. And taking an inhale and exhale here. And then taking those fingers going out to the left hand side. And same again, making sure we're not putting too much weight into that hand, but enough that we can feel that stretch. And then we're gonna, if this works for your body, bring your fingers to point towards your legs. And if they don't go quite that far, just as far as they go is fine. Feeling that sense of stretching in the wrists. And then the last one on this hand, you're going to need to bend your arm, spin your hand round. We're coming onto the back of the hand, fingers facing towards the knees. And taking a cycle of breath here. And then bringing that hand back into its neutral position. We're going to do the same on the other side. So taking the right fingers, first of all, pointing in towards that center line. Keeping that sense of engagement through the core, keeping the navel pulled in towards the spine. And then taking that hand, pointing outwards. And taking a cycle of breath. And then lastly, bringing the hand towards the knees, or as much as they go. So I've got quite flexible elbows, so not everybody's hand will go quite as far as mine does. Taking that breath. And I'm going to lift the arm, bending up through the elbow and bringing the back of the hand down, fingers facing towards the knees. Keeping that integrity through the core, not dumping the weight down into the wrists. And bringing that hand back down into a neutral position. Fabulous. Okay, we're going to do something a little bit different now. Bringing the right knee in towards the right elbow. And then we're going to take it in a circle. So lifting it up, using the muscles in the glutes to do a nice big circle. Coming all the way around. So imagining that you're making a circle with your knee. You're going to do that twice more. So elbow, knee coming forward and then coming up, really using those muscles to keep that knee lifted. And then we can do one more time in this direction. Keeping it nice and slow and controlled. And then coming back down. And then we're going to take it in the other direction. So knee coming back first, then coming up and over. Engaging through those muscles in the glutes. And having that sense of curiosity that we're bringing into our practice. This might feel a little bit unusual. We're using muscles here that we don't use a lot in day-to-day life. So just noticing that. Taking one more circle. And then bringing that knee back down. And we're going to come back into that thunderbolt position, just taking the weight off the wrists again. Back into that clasp, pressing away, pressing the arms up to the ceiling. And then circling down and taking the clasp the more unusual way behind us, squeezing the shoulder blades together and lifting up, just lifting the hands away from the tailbone. Fabulous. Okay, we're coming back into tabletop. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And we're going to do that sequence on the other side. So bringing the left knee in towards the left elbow first, and then we're going to take it up and round using those muscles in the glutes. So keeping it nice and controlled, still having that lovely engagement through the core, that strong central body. Imagining that you're drawing a circle with this left knee. And do 3 full circles. And then we're going to take the circles in the other direction. Taking the knee back and up and over, using those muscles coming towards the left elbow. And just having that sense of curiosity. Maybe it feels different on this side. Just noticing that. And after the 3rd circle, we'll bring the knee back down. Gonna take the hands a palm distance further ahead, tucking through the toes. We're gonna push up into downward facing dog. And definitely have some curiosity here for this first down dog. So maybe we're gonna pedal the legs, maybe bending one, straightening the other, alternating that. Having a little bit of movement here. This is a great posture for exploring how our body's feeling. It involves lots of different parts of our body. Having that nice amount of movement. And then we're going to come up onto our tiptoes, bring knees down onto the mat, bending through the elbows, elbows coming into the body. We're going to bring our chin and our chest to the floor, keeping the hips lifted up. And then scooting forward, coming into baby cobra. So you can either rest your hands on the floor here for some stability, you can lift the hands up. And then bringing the forehead down to the floor. You're going to press up through the hands, coming through hands and knees, tucking the toes, sending the hips back up into downward facing dog. We're going to bring the feet together here. We're going to do a bit of an extension of those circles that we were doing in tabletop. So lifting the right leg up in a nice straight line, first of all. And then we're going to bend that right knee, bringing it towards our left elbow. So don't worry if it doesn't go all the way, but coming forwards and left in that diagonal. Then creating that circle going towards the right elbow. And then we're going to create a figure of 8 movement as we go back up into downward facing dog. Taking the knee over to the left first and then round to the right. It's a similar kind of movement. We're going to do that 2 more times. So coming towards the left knee, to the right knee. Over, back up to the ceiling. Over to the left, over to the right. And 1 more time. And having that sense of curiosity. How is this feeling? What muscles are we engaging here? And then we finish that one off, straightening that leg back up to the ceiling. And then we're going to bring it down, back onto the floor, planting down through the feet. And then lifting up the left leg, lifting it up straight. And bending at the knee. You're going to do those figure of 8s on the other side. So bringing the elbow towards the right, knee towards the right elbow, left elbow. And then as we come up, taking it over to the right hand side, over to the left. Feeling that nice sense of movement in the hips. And again, noticing what does it feel like on this side. Maybe it feels different. Taking 1 more figure of 8 movement. Lifting the knee up to the ceiling. We're going to straighten through that leg. Bringing the leg down. And then we're going to come down onto our knees. Hips coming back towards the heels. And stretching out back into that extended child's pose. It's going to bend the elbows here, bring the palms together, And resting the palms on the back of the head, so the bottom of the wrists on the back of the head. And we're just going to take a couple of resting breaths here. And have that sense of curiosity. How is your body feeling now? And then we're going to release with the hands, walking the hands back in, coming back up to our thunderbolt position. And taking the feet over to one side, coming into a seat. So feet, legs reaching out in front. Now have that sense of really lifting up through the spine, keeping that sense of integrity in the spine. Sit on a block or a cushion or something like that if that helps to have a nice straight spine. Working ideally towards straight legs. If you need to take a little bit of a bend in the legs, that's no problem here. Engaging through the legs, engaging through the feet, bringing the feet towards the head. Just going to take a full cycle of breath here in our staff pose. And then bringing the right knee in, we're going to give it a little bit of a squeeze first of all, then planting it down about a hand width away from the left knee. We're going to reach both arms up to the ceiling. And then we're going to twist to the right hand side. So bringing the left elbow round the right knee, taking the right hand behind. Going to inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, maybe finding a little bit more twist here. Doing that a couple more times. The cycle of your own breath. And having that sense of curiosity. How does your body feel when it's twisting? And then we're going to inhale, reaching both arms up to the ceiling. And then on the exhale, we're going to come up and over that left leg. So reaching up and then reaching forward. And just see where you get to with this one. Can you have a curiosity rather than a sense of judgment? So maybe you're at your knees, maybe you're at your shins, maybe you can reach all the way down to your foot. And just being okay wherever you are here. We're going to use the breath to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, maybe finding that little bit more fold. And then bringing the hands up the leg, so we're uncurling through the spine. You're going to send that right leg out straight. Give both legs a little bit of a shake up and down and side to side. You have that sense of engagement again. Toes coming towards the face. Spine nice and straight. Bring the left leg in. Giving it a bit of a squeeze before we plant it down. About hand width away from the right knee. Stretching both arms up to the ceiling. We're going to take that twist to the left hand side. Left hand comes behind. Right hand comes round the crook of the left knee. We're going to use the breath here to inhale and lengthen. Exhale and twist. And then inhaling, coming back to the center, bringing the hands back down by the sides, straightening out that left leg. Just going to give both legs a shake up and down and side to side. Okay, fabulous. I'm going to bend the legs in, not super tight, just so we can have the feet planted flat on the floor. Bringing the hands behind. We're going to create a figure 4 shape with our legs. So lifting the right leg up, we're going to bring it over the left leg. So just above the ankle is over just above the knee. We're going to flex through that left toe. I'm going to create a seated pigeon posture. And the easiest way to do this is to actually press the weight through the hands and then walk the hips in towards the feet. So we want to have that, still having that nice sense of integrity through the spine. So don't go so close in that you're sort of leaning over, but have a little bit of a play with that. See what feels good. Feel that real sense of stretch through the right glutes here, keeping that right foot flexed. And we're just going to breathe for a couple of breaths here. See if you can keep a sense of relaxation through the shoulders, through the neck, through the jaw. And just noticing any sensations you can feel in those glute muscles. We're going to come out the same way that we came in. So moving the hands maybe a little bit further back. I'm going to take the hips back and then releasing with that foot. And I'm going to even it out. So lifting the left foot over to just above the ankle, just above the knee, flexing through that left toe. Pressing down with the hands, we're going to lift the hips up, moving the hips towards the right foot on the floor. Maybe walking the hands in just to keep that nice, straight, stretched out spine. And having that sense of relaxation through the shoulders, lifting up through the spine. And being curious. How does this feel? This is a bit of an interesting sensation. Taking one more cycle of breath here. And then we're going to come out the same way we came in, so moving the hands back first of all, moving the hips back, creating that space to release in the leg. And we're going to come down to lying on our backs. So feet a little bit tighter bent in this time, palms down on the floor, facing towards the feet. Going to engage through the core muscles, tilting the pelvis so that you completely flatten out your back. And then pressing the weight down through the feet, we're going to lift the hips up, coming towards the ceiling. So making sure we've got even weight distribution in the feet here, lifting up, hips coming up towards the ceiling. And this might feel like this is enough and you want to stay here. That's absolutely fine. If you want to have a little bit more lift, you can bring the palms together in that interlacing and squeeze the shoulder blades together to really have that sense of lifting up, creating more space in the front of the body. Making sure we have even weight distribution between both feet and all four corners of the feet here in our bridge pose. Feeling that sense of engagement through the feet, lifting up through the hips. And try not to crunch in the neck, so keeping a little bit of space between your chin and your chest. And then if you've taken that clasp with the hands, releasing the hands apart, you're going to very slowly uncurl, so bringing the vertebrae down one at a time, curling through the back. And then we're going to tuck the knees into the chest, wrapping the arms around the legs and just take a little rock from side to side, creating a bit of a massage in the spine. And then bringing the feet back down onto the floor. Just press a little bit through the feet to lift the hips a little bit. We're going to take the hips over to the left-hand side of the mat and crossing the left legs over. I'm going to send the arms out in a T shape. And we're going to take the legs over to the right-hand side. So by lifting the hips and moving the hips over to the left, it means that when we do our twist here, the hips are still in a straight line. Keeping the left shoulder blade on the floor and just allowing yourself to release here. Release any tension that you might be holding on to. Having that curiosity, how is your body feeling in this posture? And then we're going to bring the knees back up towards the ceiling, uncrossing the legs, straightening out the hips. Then we're going to take the hips over to the right hand side, crossing the right leg over the left thigh, and we're going to take both legs over to the left hand side. Keeping that right shoulder on the floor. So upper body is still straight, lower body has the twist. And just breathing here. You're going to bring the knees back up to the ceiling, uncrossing the right leg, straightening up the hips. We're going to send the legs out straight, one and the other, bringing the hands, palms up towards the ceiling, arms in a little bit closer to the body, and taking our final posture here, Shavasana. And seeing if you can have that sense of curiosity, that lightness, a little bit more playfulness in our practice. Everything doesn't have to be so serious. And I invite you to take that sense of curiosity into the rest of your day. You're going to bring the palms together in front of the chest and close the practice off today. Namaste.
Thanks so much for sharing your practice with me today. If you enjoyed it, do give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know how you found it in the comments below. See you again soon.